Yo, UFC 329 is right around the corner. And man, have I been itching to talk about this card. I've been out for a while because I couldn't even talk about the Fiziev card or anything like that because of the fact that I've been having a bit of issues with my recording stuff. But either way, this card is stacked. There's no other way of putting it. It is stacked. I absolutely love every single thing about this card. I mean, just look. We got Luke Riley versus Kai Kamaka the third. We got Cody Garbrandt, which is probably going to get starched, but I'll get right into that. We got Gable Stevenson making his debut. Robert Whitaker light heavyweight debut. King Green versus Terrence McKinney to lead the main card. Brandon Royval versus Leonard Kavanagh. Corey Sandhagen versus Mario Batista. BSD versus Paddy Pimblett. And Conor McGregor, the Mac. He is coming back to fight Max Holloway at welterweight. And so, yeah, man, I'm going to get right into it. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. I would really appreciate it, especially considering the fact that I'm having to re-record this whole thing. But you know what? It is what it is. Now, first off, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm really gonna level with you guys. There's some fights here that I don't that I don't know. You might have noticed that I kind of skimmed past them. For example, Alessandro Costa versus Cody Durden. I do not. I don't know much about these guys. I've heard of Cody Durden, but I don't know much about this case, and honestly, I'm not too interested. Obviously, I'm gonna watch the fight. I'm gonna watch every single one of the fights, but I'm not. I don't have much to say about this one, considering it's obviously your very normal early prelim type of card to just kind of get things started. We got 18-10 Cody Durden, and then 16-5 for Alexander Costa. It's a nice little flyweight bout. Again, I don't have much to say about this one. I'm gonna level with you, so let's just kind of like get on past that really quickly. Well, soon you're gonna see that the ones I know. Like this is another one I don't know much about. I am seeing though. I'm definitely looking forward to this one, considering that Ryan Gandra is 9-1. He's 9-1, and then we got Zachary Reese. Oh, so this, but yeah, we got Zachary Reese that is 10-3. Like from what I've seen, this dude managed to win his debut actually by a first round KO. So that's pretty interesting. I personally didn't manage to see that fight. I hadn't gotten around to seeing that, but I do think I got some high hopes for this one. Maybe we can see a finish. So in the early prelims, that's kind of nice. But you know what I will say? This is one that I do know about. Farid Basharat versus John Garza. Now this one, right? First off, on one hand, I'm disappointed beyond belief. My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is a bit ruined because originally this was supposed to be Farid Basharat versus Ethan Ewing, and I really wanted to see if Ethan Ewing could pull off a third undefeated upset. You feel me? Like where he just straight up manages to defeat another undefeated contender. It would be crazy, but it is what it is. John Garza, he's coming in on short notice from the regionals. This is his debut, which I gotta say is crazy. The fact that they're putting him against, like, I don't know what type of stuff this dude was doing in the regionals. I know that he got a lot of finishes and stuff. He also got some decisions, but that's just how it is sometimes. but to have him immediately in a bantamweight ranked fight with Farid Basharat, which is undefeated at 15-0, it's something. It's very much something. I mean, as you can see, they got this man as a heavy favorite at minus 600. And so, honestly, I don't know. John Garza, like maybe he can pull something off. Maybe he gets possessed by Ethan Ewing. Maybe Ethan Ewing got injured and then starts doing some voodoo magic, starts coming in and possessing him to give him his spirit to take his O by a third party. But I don't know, man. I think Farid should be able to get this pretty simply. It's like John Garza, he doesn't really have the experience compared to Farid, man. Then over here, we got Damian Pinas versus Cesar Almeida. Now, again, I don't know much about this guy, but hey, we got another 9-1 guy, so that's something. I don't again, I don't know much of these guys. That's just the nature of prelims sometimes. You got to kind of watch a couple of their fights before you start learning them. This guy clearly been in the UFC for a while. I mean, he's going as far as 2024. He got beat by. Okay, hold up. I'm gonna keep a buck with you. After seeing this, because I'm seeing this like right now live here. This man got a this man gonna get cooked. Yeah, I think he's gonna. This man lost to Roman Kopylov. I mean, it was a split decision, but it's just bro. Roman Kopylov, boys. I think judging by my voice, you can probably take a wild gander at how I feel about Roman Kopylov. I just don't think he's good, like at all. Like, he has like a lot of the guy is potential, man. Because I've seen some of his fights, and he's like, he shows a lot of potential. But you guess what? This dude is too gun shy, and yeah, man. Honestly, he barely skimmed his last fight a win. So if this guy's losing to him, then I don't know. Luke Riley versus Kai Kamaka the Third. They're using Kai Kamaka the Third to push this man, Luke Riley. Like, there's no other way around it. I think we can all agree that Kai Kamaka is not gonna be that crazy of a win, even if Luke Riley is. I mean, maybe he can put up a crazy highlight on him for all we know, and then make it a good win. But even then, it's like it's an eye when Kai Kamaka, man. I saw his record. He's 2-2 in the UFC and one actually. He also has a draw. I remember that he had like a really rough stint back in 2020 because it's like he started, won his debut, then from then on it was downhill. Then he left to Bellator and a bunch of other promotions. And then recently in 2026 he came back. And I mean, this guy, it's clear that they're feeding him to the wolves. Okay? Right now it's clear that they're using him to build up Luke Riley's record. And I mean, Luke Riley, man, this looks like he can win this fight. He could be able to win this fight. Luke Riley, he's undefeated. He had like that one little in his debut. He had that little rough start, but he then was able to bring it back in very good fashion with a KO. And then he had a really good performance to get a unanimous decision in his second UFC fight. This is his third now. He should be able to get this pretty comfortably. So yeah, I got Luke Riley winning this one. Cody Garbrandt versus Adrian Yanez. Brother, okay, let me talk about this. Because honestly, I don't even know. I don't even know who's going to win this fight. I really don't know. Because after the absolute tomfoolery that happened in the last Cody Garbrandt fight, I can't even begin to imagine what other tomfoolery could happen here. It's because there's so many different things that could. Again, this dude Cody Garbrandt, bro, like he's such an anomaly because he became the best fighter in the world for a total of 25 minutes. And then from then on, it's been downhill for him ever since. Like, obviously, that performance against Dominic Cruz was sensational. But again, ever since it's been downhill, this dude, Cody, his chin is horrendous. He gets chinned so much. It's crazy. That last fight, bro, he was losing that fight until his opponent decided to be an absolute numpty and just start fouling him. I don't even know how this is going to play out. Cody's probably going to get chinned. He's probably going to lose. Or, maybe he doesn't get chinned. Maybe he just straight up loses a unanimous decision like he was mostly supposed to in that last fight before the other dude decided to pull off a horrific nut shot. But meanwhile, over here we got Adrian Yanez, right? He's won. I'm not even going to count all that, but yeah, from what I'm seeing, he's won a lot of UFC fights, so that's good. That's pretty nice. I saw that in his last one, he got a draw right here. So, yeah. So he lost a split decision, then he drew. And so now he's trying to get himself a win. Oh, he lost to Rob Font? He got KO'd in one from Rob Font? I don't know. Damn, yeah, this dude been on a rough stint, actually. Wait a minute. It's like he won this one, then he lost. It's like he's kind of actually been having a bit of issues as of 2023. But honestly, man, I can't believe in Cody Garbrandt. I can't. I just can't. This dude he's just not it, man. It's like he was that one hit wonder when he did that performance against Dominic Cruz, and then ever since he's just been below average. Like he's been doing enough to keep himself in the UFC, but any moment now he's gonna just keep dwindling and dwindling. Or well, he has been dwindling and dwindling. He's just gonna dwindle to the point where he can't dwindle any further. Meanwhile, this right here, now this is an interesting one. Gable Stevenson debut with they don't even got a portrait. But yeah, Gable Stevenson versus Elijah Ellison. Now, boy oh boy oh boy. How do I even begin with this? Let's start off with some of the interesting. First of all, Gable Stevenson, long time coming. People have been waiting for this guy to enter the UFC for ages. He's also a very talented guy. Olympic gold medalist. He was in the NFL for a bit. He's also in the WWE roster. Like this dude has been like everywhere for some reason. However, I will say this man is controversial as fuck. Okay, I'm not gonna go into it. There's way better channels that have way more info on this whole thing. I'm a like for example, shout out to MMA on Point. Like they got a whole video on this whole thing, but that case on Gable Stevenson, that case that he had, and the investigation, the way it was investigated, is kind of dicey. But I digress. Okay, right now Gable Stevenson, he's 3-0. Elijah Ellison is 5-2. I feel like Gable should be able to win this, especially. I mean, he's got all the hype behind him. People waiting for that. I mean, look at this. Look at these odds. Look at these odds, bro. This man is at minus 2,000. I remember yesterday it was at minus 2,500. And I've seen reports on different places that it's been going as high as minus 4,000. Like, they genuinely do not believe that this man is going to lose. Granted, been a lot of that recently that ends up being proven really, really wrong. But I don't see Elijah Ellison pulling this off. You know what I was? God damn, bro. Okay, hold up. We'll get on that in a second. Nikita Krylov versus Robert Whitaker. Okay, this is a fight that I've been waiting for a while, man. Bobby Knuckles. Man, Bobby Knuckles. This dude, Robert, has been getting passed around in middleweight, bro. He really needed a change. Now, whether the change that he needed is going up a weight class, we don't know. We're going to see that. We're going to find out Saturday night. Either way, Robert, man, at middleweight, ever since he lost that rematch to Adesanya, he just hasn't been able to get anything going. Like, right now, the situation with Robert in middleweight was that this dude, basically, ever since he lost to Adesanya, he's been getting passed around pretty much by every single contender that wants to win on a former champ. Like, it's like, oh, let me get myself a former champ win to add to my resume to make a case for a title shot. Oh, Robert Whitaker? Bet. Say less. Like, Robert has not been doing very well. Obviously, he has a couple wins still. He's been getting in that little rough stint. But it's just that any time that, like, a big contender shows up, Robert has not been able to gatekeep. He simply hasn't been able to gatekeep. He's a gatekeeper that has not been able to keep the gate. And so now he's trying to move up to light heavyweights to see if maybe this helps. And, originally, like, I'm not really sure how to feel about this. Because originally, I thought, man, Robert's a bit too small, though. And no, not really. Because, I looked at the top 15 in light heavyweight. They're only like 3 to 4 inches taller than Robert. Robert's 6 foot. Most guys are 6'3", 6'4". The difference that may lie would be probably the reach advantage. But even then, there's examples. I mean, for example, DC. DC is like the best example. DC is smaller than Robert, and he did way like, he did very, very good at light heavyweight and heavyweight. So, like, I don't think that's going to be that much of an issue. However, it's mostly going to be up to how well Robert Whitaker can translate as a fighter to this new weight class. So it's definitely going to be very interesting. They actually have him as the favorite, which I can definitely see. I can see Robert pulling this off, especially against Nikita Krylov, which, goddamn, Nikita, bro. The times have been rough, huh? And, the times have been rough, actually. In his MMA record, his last 3 fights, man, he hasn't been doing so well. Like, he is coming off of a win where he got a KO. But before that, against this dude, Guskov, he got KO'd in 1 round. And against Dominic Reyes, he got again cooked in 1 round. And so this one especially is, with how it's been going with Reyes recently, this is an especially bad loss. So, yeah, why does this man look like Bulk? What the hell? Either way, Krylov is definitely on his last legs right now. He's in a very vulnerable position, especially at number 12 rank. Right now you got Robert Whitaker, former champ, coming in. And so he's trying to take your ranking, man. Now, the real question is whether he's going to be able to actually defend his ranking and, keep Robert out. But I don't know. Hey, you know what I do know, however? King Green versus Terrence McKinney to start off the main card. Man, do I love this matchmaking. Do I love this for a main card opener, bro? I love it. I love everything about this fight. King Green, we all know, he likes to showboat. He has that no hands up style, likes to talk shit during this entire fight for the hell of it. He's a veteran. Meanwhile, Terrence McKinney, on the other hand, I mean, he's actually coming in at a minus 125 favorite. I don't know how. I honestly think he's actually gonna lose this fight. I feel like King Green can win this. But man, Terrence McKinney, we know how he is. This dude goes blitz from the first round. Like the moment that the horn sounds, this dude is going out there. And man, this is such a good fight. I just really love this fight. I really know that it's going to be a really good one to start it off because things are going to probably get chaotic. Terrence is going to be looking to end it quick. King Green is probably going to, do his thing. No hands up, just chase a KO probably because I think he can outlast Terrence McKinney. King Green, he has a lot of experience, man. I mean, look at this record. Look at this record. 35, 17, and 1. He has so much more experience than Terrence. And granted, experience isn't everything, of course. It all comes down to skill at the end of the day. But I think that considering Terrence's style, where it's very like glass cannon type of style, where it's either do or die, I think right now this isn't a McKinney fight where he can do. I think this is a McKinney fight where he's probably going to gas out and King Green is going to go ahead and KO him. Going off of this fight, you know what we are going to be doing, though? We're going to be talking about Brandon Royval versus Loner Kavanagh. Man, this is another fight that I love. If this was to wake everybody up, this is the one to, like, keep them awake. Bro. Like, this matchup is so good. Brandon Royval, I mean, we know what's been going on with him recently, especially also what's been going on with Loner Kavanagh, man. Like, Loner has been doing sensational. Meanwhile, Royval has been kind of on the opposite end of things. Because it's like, how do I put it? Obviously, Royval is very good at what he does, but man, recently the contenders have been catching up to him. They've been catching up. We all know what happened against Joshua Van. Like, I mean, let's look at his recent fights, bro. Tatsuro Taira, he managed to get a really good win over Tatsuro. Very, very good win. But then he came off of that on short notice with Van and went to absolute war, bro. I witnessed that fight live. I feel bad for anybody who didn't witness that fight live. That was so good. It was such a good fight. I'm pretty sure it won fight of the year. No, like again, point is that fight was absolute heat. It was a slugfest. These dudes were going band for band, hit for hit, and then I actually think a lot of people, including myself a little bit, had Royval winning slightly by very, very close going into like that third. But then Van got that knockdown at the end and it was wraps. From then on, everybody knew who won. And so this is it. I'm not even gonna like, of course, flame on Royval or anything for this. Cause at the end of the day, like it was a short notice fight. A lot of the stuff can happen on short notice. And bro, Royval did a lot. He did everything he could. He just came up a bit short. And right now Van's been doing great things, so it's honestly aging pretty well. The loss is aging well. A loss that this one's also aging well, but even then, in the first round it's crazy. The way that it happened, man, Royval got starched by Cop. Cop came in with that like very patient style and just completely send Royval to the shadow realm, man. Nah, it's like I don't know how he was able to get up so quickly. Then again, he was wobbly on his feet when he got up. But hey, things have not been looking good for Royval right now, and it's clear right now he needs to win this fight if he wants to like even remain at a chance of possibly one day getting his get back on Van. Well, that's if Van remains champion, of course. We don't know what's going to happen between Van and Pantoja and all the other guys who are probably going to get a title shot before Royval happens, even if he wins this fight. But you get the point. The point is that Royval right now needs to win this fight. Meanwhile, Loner Kavanagh, he's coming off an insanely beautiful performance against Brandon Moreno. Brandon Moreno, if that was your first Brandon Moreno fight to watch, I can assure you, you would have never guessed that he was a two-time champ, considering the absolute beating that Loner put on him. He had this man struggling to survive Either way, gonna enjoy the hell out of watching this fight. We got Corey Sandhagen versus Mario Bautista. Now, this is a good fight, of course, but I'm sure we can all agree that we all would have rather seen Corey Sandhagen versus Sean O'Malley. The problem is obviously Sean fought at the White House recently, so he's going to be out for a while. Even then, the fight at the White House should have been Corey versus Sean. But either way, that has nothing to do with this. I don't know how to feel about this fight because like it's an okay fight, but when you're coming off of these two, like it feels like a little bit of a step down. But either way, hey, for all I know, this ends up being maybe the fight of the night. These guys could go crazy, but I don't know who's gonna win this one. Depends on who can neutralize whose style first. If I had to take a gander, I'd say it would be yeah, I think Corey can get it done. It's like Mario has been doing pretty well in his recent fights. I mean, it's like even in the fight where he lost against Umar, he did manage to uh, knock down Umar at one point with a really good head kick. But I just don't. No, I just don't see it. BSD versus Patty Pimblett. Now listen, this one in particular is very interesting because it's gonna be to see if BSD can hang as a top five right now, since he's been getting it pretty good recently with all these matchups. He's been doing really well. He's been on a good win streak. Like overall, I will say it's like some of these ones like Prepper like I, but then Rufy, very good win. Completely exposed Rufy's grappling. Dariush, I mean, brother, everybody gets a KO on Dariush. Like anybody with any sort of power in their hands can KO Dariush. And Dan Hooker, well, he just mauled Dan Hooker on the ground. So overall, he's been doing really well. He's been on a really good run ever since he switched up his coaching team, I believe. After the absolutely terroristic performance that this dude Moicano pulled on him, he just completely demolished BSD's face. Patty Pimblett, right? I don't know. I don't know. I've been seeing a lot of kind of back and forths about this matchup because on one hand, people think that Patty is better, and the other, obviously, that's how it's gonna be with all the fights. But I don't know. I feel like because BSD has been doing well, but Patty, there's very little holes that I kind of can see this dude BSD, poking at. He's not gonna KO Patty. I can say that without a shadow of a doubt. If he KOs Patty, then I don't know what Justin Gaethje was doing. Because now, granted, Justin was nerfed with the staph infection when he fought Patty, but even then, he put the whooping. I mean, bro, this dude, despite being left looking like Bonnie Blue after the fight, I can definitely tell you he still didn't get knocked out. I mean, he really, really proved the fact that Scousers don't get knocked. So overall, it's going to be very interesting to see what BSD brings to the table against Patty, how he can, poke the weaknesses that we saw from the Justin Gaethje fight. It's gonna be very hard. I can definitely tell you that. I favor BSD. I feel like he can pull it off. He's been on a really good run. I'd like to see the run keep going. Like he's pretty much favorite. It's surprising. It's surprising actually. They have BSD as the favorite. I thought that they'd have Patty as the favorite. You know how it is. People are very cynical. They just like the moment a fighter loses, they immediately like kind of switch up. Like I remember he was an overwhelming favorite against Justin, and now you're telling me that all of a sudden they make him a underdog. Then again, he did take a lot of damage, so hey, who knows? Maybe that's a factor, but I don't think so. I feel like it's gonna be a very close fight. It's gonna come down to the game plan, really. Conor McGregor versus Max Holloway. This like we have nothing to go off of for this fight. The only one we got something to go off of is Conor. We know that Conor's power doesn't really translate very well in welterweight. But Max, we've never seen him fight at welterweight. We don't know how he's gonna go. I'm a bit worried for Max. I'm a bit worried because honestly, it goes hand in hand, right? Because on one hand, you got Connor coming off of like what's it been 5 years? He hasn't fought in the octagon for ages. Ring rust probably is a thing. I feel like it really might be a thing. On the other hand, it's like, yeah, that's a bit of a negative, the possible ring rust. But you know what isn't a negative? The fact that he has had time to heal. And with that time to heal comes the added benefit of being a lot more healthy coming into the fight, especially after what happened with Dustin, where he's just horrific, horrific leg break. We don't know how that's going to affect Connor. He certainly looked aloof in the press conference. I'm going to be real with you. I didn't even think this fight was going to happen. I thought Connor was going to pull out. But in fact, actually, now that I think about it, actually, yeah, wait, that reminds me. Yo, I don't know if you guys know this, But originally, apparently, Connor was supposed to fight Carlos Pradas, which to me is insanity. Cause I'm gonna keep it a book with you. If that happened, Connor was gonna. We were never gonna see Connor ever again. Okay, never ever. Connor was not gonna be anywhere near this realm. Cause what do you mean? Years ago, in which his leg broke horrifically, you're gonna put him against the guy that turned JDM's leg into sushimi, bro. He completely mangled JDM's legs to the point where he couldn't even stand up anymore. Just say you're trying to leave Connor as a cripple at this point. Like, are you trying to leave this man without an ability to walk? Because that's what would have happened. That leg would have broken right again. It would have gotten snapped. I honestly, I'm worried for Max a bit, cause on one hand, I thought that Connor maybe like the idea of him winning this would be very, very out of the question. But the more I think about it, the more it's like I can kind of envision it, and it's not because of the things that a lot of people before are saying that it's like, oh man, Connor's just gonna out grapple Max. It's like, Connor isn't out grappling shit, okay? Connor's not Charles Oliveira. Carl's not gonna be doing none of that. A lot of people are bringing up the first fight. It's like, okay, you're comparing a Max Holloway that was still getting his footing in the UFC to Connor in his prime. Like, if it was on lightweight, I would say without a shadow of a doubt, I got Max winning. But it's at welterweight. We don't know how Max is going to look at welterweight. Okay, we don't know if he's going to look slower. We don't know if his chin isn't going to hold up with the welterweight power. We don't know if his power is going to increase or decrease even further. And then there's the fact that it's like, on one hand, I thought that it's like, Max, he's been active for ages. There's a lot of questions to go off of. Is Connor going to look really rusty, or is he going to look normal? Is he gonna look like the usual Connor? Is he like what approach is he gonna come into with this fight? Because I have seen rumors of a grappling heavy approach, which is crazy. I personally think Connor's just gonna gas out with a grappling heavy approach. Again, a lot of people think that Connor's gonna out grapple Max. I highly doubt it. Because it's like you're telling me that you are comparing the first fight, right? Where you got prime Connor versus Max that's still getting his footing in the UFC. Like you're gonna use that fight as a way of like comparing. It's like no, 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 no. That's not good. That's not reliable info anymore. That fight is just history at this point. You gotta go off of recently the stuff that Max has been doing recently, and the stuff that Connor. Well, I mean, we go off of what Connor's been doing recently, but the thing is, he hasn't done anything recently. His last fight was against Dustin, and he broke his leg, and so it's really gonna be interesting to see. It's gonna be interesting to see. There's a lot of question marks going in. There's a lot of question marks. I know I'm looking forward to it, and so honestly, I personally got Max. I think Max is gonna pull it off as the more active fighter. Like, despite the welterweight, I think that he's still going to be able to do it. I think Connor's going to get stopped, and he's probably going to. This is probably going to be it for him. And if not, well, then hey, let's see what happens. But either way, man, if you like the video, make sure to subscribe, and yeah, see ya.